The creation mandate, crowned with glory and honor. Let's begin at the very foundation, the breathtaking scene in Psalm 8 verses 3-5 ESV. When I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the son of man that you care for him? Yet you have made him a little lower than the heavenly beings. Hebrew, Elohim, often translated God or divine beings, and crowned him with glory and honor. The Hebrew phrase here is nuanced. While many translations say a little lower than God, angels, the context suggests a positional reality. We were created just beneath the divine council in the cosmic order, yet crowned with unique glory. The writer to the Hebrews, 2 verses 6-8, interprets this psalm as describing humanity's original vocation and ultimate destiny in Christ, the divine image. What makes humanity unique? Genesis 1 verse 26-28 reveals our distinct identity. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion." Unlike angels, humanity alone bears the imago Dei, the image of God. This isn't merely about rationality or morality, but about representative authority. We were created as God's vice-regents, tasked with stewarding creation. Angels are mighty servants, Psalm 103 verse 20. But humanity was given delegated sovereignty over earthly affairs. The astonishing claim, "We will judge angels." Now to Paul's staggering statement in 1 Corinthians 6 verse 3. Do you not know that we are to judge angels? How much more then, matters pertaining to this life? This isn't a passing metaphor. Paul introduces it as foundational knowledge for the Corinthians. The Greek verb, krino, judge, means to assess, discern, and render verdicts. This future responsibility implies several profound truths. 1. Our redeemed position surpasses angels. Hebrews 2, verses 5-9, clarifies that the world to come is subjected to humanity, not angels. 2. We participate in Christ's judicial authority. Revelation 3 verse 21, Matthew 19 verse 28. 3. Even fallen angels, demons, await our verdict. Jude 6. 2. Peter 2 verse 4. The cosmic narrative. From rebellion, the biblical story arcs from Genesis to Revelation showing the fall. Notice Satan doesn't claim to own the earth, he claims to administer it. Luke 4 verse 6, suggesting humanity surrendered its stewardship. The incarnation. The second Adam arrives. Hebrews 2 verse 9 declares Jesus was made for a little while, lower than the angels, to taste death for everyone. The eternal Son temporarily entered our position beneath angels to lift us up, the restoration. In Christ's resurrection and ascension, something monumental happens. Ephesians 1, verse 20-22, proclaims, God raised Christ far above all rule and authority, and put all things under his feet. Then crucially, Ephesians 2 verse 6 reveals God raised us up with him and seated us with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus. The present reality, seated in authority now. This isn't merely future theology. Ephesians 3 verse 10 declares God's intent, so that through the church, the manifold wisdom of God might now be made known to the rulers and authorities in the heavenly places. You, the church, are God's chosen medium to display his wisdom to angelic beings, both faithful and fallen. Every act of worship, every triumph over sin, every manifestation of grace proclaims to the unseen realm, behold what God has done with redeemed humanity. Practical confidence for today's Christian. Knowing this should transform how we live. 1. Walk in unshakable identity. You are not merely saved from sin. You're restored to your royal vocation. When feelings of inadequacy whisper, declare, I am an image bearer of God, seated with Christ above all spiritual powers. Colossians 3, verses 1-3. 2. Exercise rightful authority. Jesus gave his disciples authority over all the power of the enemy. Luke 10, verse 19. This isn't about arrogance, but about faithful stewardship. In prayer, in spiritual warfare, in binding what heaven forbids, and loosing what heaven desires. Matthew 16, verse 19. We exercise our delegated authority. 3. Embrace your role in the cosmic display. Your faithful work, whether changing diapers, writing code, teaching children, or healing the sick, isn't mundane. It's part of God's demonstration to principalities and powers. See how my redeemed humanity stewards creation. Colossians 3, verse 23 to 24. 4. Live with eschatological certainty. When evil seems triumphant, remember, the verdict is already in. You will participate in judging the very beings that now oppose God's purposes. The cross was their decisive defeat. The final judgment is the formal pronouncement. Colossians 2, verse 15. The ultimate model. The God-man who shares his throne. The mystery culminates in Christ's breathtaking promise in Revelation 3, verse 21. The one who conquers, I will grant him to sit with me on my throne, as I also conquered and sat down with my Father on his throne. Angels surround the throne. Revelation 7, verse 11. They serve the throne, but redeemed humanity in Christ sits with him on that throne. This is our destiny. Not to become angels, a demotion, but to reign with Christ as his co-heirs. Romans 8, verse 17. Judging angels as those restored to our proper place in the cosmic order. Rise to your calling. Dear believer, when discouragement comes, when spiritual opposition feels overwhelming, remember, you are crafted in God's own image. You are redeemed at infinite cost. You are seated with Christ in authority now. You will judge angels in the age to come. Therefore, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Ephesians 6, verse 10. Your labor in the Lord is not in vain. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 58. You occupy the most privileged position in all creation, below only the Godhead, above the angelic hosts, destined to reign with Christ forever. Walk today not as a victim of unseen forces, but as an ambassador of the King who has put all things in subjection under his feet. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 27, and who has graciously included you in that glorious administration.